What is up, Space Pirates? I am your captain, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster, and today we get to discuss the box office numbers for the opening sneak peek day for The Marvels, which gives us an idea as to how this movie is going to perform on its opening weekend.
I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him.
I believe you. People like Brie Larson have made it abundantly clear that the work they do, the so-called art that they produce, is not intended for people like me. And if you're watching me, then we can safely assume it wasn't made for you either. And we will remember that. We will remember that, and we will not go and see this movie. Because the last time a Captain Marvel film came out, that strategy may have worked for them, but that was due to the novelty of the gimmick they were using to sell the franchise. Last time, they pushed the identity politics in Captain Marvel. They reminded people often that it was OMG, the first female superhero movie ever, which isn't true, by the way, but they claimed that constantly, and it brought people who normally don't watch these sorts of films into the movie theater. It put butts in seats, but that woke crowd who cares about that sort of thing, they don't actually support stuff like this. They aren't genuinely fans. They don't actually read comics. They don't care about Marvel. They only care about spreading their message and then moving on to the next current thing.
There is another organism on this planet that follows the same pattern. A virus.
And that's where we're at right now. The wokesters have moved on. They aren't coming back for this film. And the rest of us aren't coming back either, as evidenced by the box office numbers being reported on by parent company Disney. In this video, we are going to have a look at these early numbers, which are really not good for Disney. It's always possible, of course, that the movie turns it around, that The Marvels goes gangbusters this weekend, but I seriously doubt it. In fact, I think it's time we get out our blame game bingo cards. Obviously, Disney and their shills in the media are going to blame the failures of this film on everyone but themselves. It'll be racism, sexism, homophobia, the Hollywood strikes, the economy, or any number of other BS reasons. But at the end of the day, I love the fact that I just get to kick back and enjoy their financial pain in slow motion.
Let's see that in an instant replay.
I'm sorry.
Alright folks, just a quick reminder to like this video, which helps defeat the evil algorithm monster, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. With that in mind, let's take a look at this article from Deadline, which breaks down the unofficial early box office numbers reportedly coming from Disney. The headline says, The Marvels hovers at $6.6 million Thursday night as stars make their way to cinemas post-actors strike box office.
Oh, that's gotta hurt!
$6.6 million is not very good, folks. That is lower than the reported $7.2 million earned by Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on its early screenings. And that film, as you may remember, was a dud in theaters. But let's see what the article says. It reads, Marvel Studios' sequel, The Marvels, has clocked around $6.5 million in Thursday night previews, we hear from sources. Disney called the night at $6.6 million for showtimes that began at 3 p.m. yesterday. The fear out there by many is that this $200 million budgeted sequel to 2019's Captain Marvel, which stands as the highest grossing female superhero movie of all time, could clock the lowest start ever stateside for a Marvel Studios movie, lower than The Incredible Hulk, which was a universal release before Disney absorbed the MCU, which had a $55.4 million start. Now let's stop right there for just a second and put these numbers into perspective. The Incredible Hulk came out all the way back in 2008. According to a chart I like to use from thenumbers.com, which I will link in the description, the average ticket price of a film from 2008 was $7.18. If we divide the opening weekend box office of The Incredible Hulk, which was $55.4 million, by the average ticket price back then, we can see that on that film's opening weekend, there were 7,715,877 people who went to see it. Now, if we compare that to the highest box office projections coming out for the Marvels, which is $80 million for their opening weekend, and I seriously doubt that it will reach that level, but just for argument's sake, we will use that $80 million number. If we divide 80 million by the average movie ticket price in 2023, which is $10.53, then the total number of people who will have gone to see The Marvels on its opening weekend is around 7,597,341 people. That is over 100,000 less people paying to see The Marvels than The Incredible Hulk. So, even if The Marvels brings in more money than The Incredible Hulk, if we adjust for inflation, it is still likely to be the biggest loser of the MCU. Anyhow, the article continues. While tracking took its projections down from $80 million to $60 million for The Marvels, there is a concern out there that The Marvels could see a $40 million start. At $6.5 million, that is one of the lower previews we've seen in recent times from Marvel, just one notch above Ant-Man at $6.4 million opening, and lower than Disney November misfires The Eternals at $9.5 million preview opening, and Thor Dark World, $7.1 million in previews. The Incredible Hulk has the lowest previews of $2 million for an MCU title in the preview era, but that's when previews began at midnight. Advanced ticket sales of $5 million indicated The Marvels was flying into The Flash's territory opening-wise. However, The Flash's preview figure was higher at $9.7 million off showtimes that began at 3 p.m. Thursday. Oh man, this movie is looking like it might do worse than The Flash, a movie featuring an actor embroiled in the sort of controversies that drive people like me away in droves. Ezra Miller is absolutely a repellent for a lot of people, and The Marvels might do worse than that movie. Now, for reference, The Flash opened up to approximately $55 million domestically, and it finished at a paltry $108 million. That would be hilarious if The Marvels did worse than that. It would be hilarious on a level that I haven't experienced in a good long while.
Thank you. I haven't laughed like that in a long time.
The article continues, critical reviews on Rotten Tomatoes are at 61% fresh, really quick timeout here. Nobody looks at a 61% number and thinks that that is fresh. 61% is not a passing grade. 61% back when I was a kid in school, that was a D minus in fact. You were just 2 percentage points away from failing. No matter how these shills try to spin things, 61% is dog shit. But I digress. Critical reviews on Rotten Tomatoes are at 61% fresh, but the Rotten Tomato audience score is higher at 85%, which is promising. However, the diehards always come out on Thursday night. Thursday night post-track exits from ComScore/Screen Engine were severe for general audiences at 3.5 stars, but 4.5 stars from parents and 5 stars from kids under 12, so the normies. The normies gave it a better score, but most people were giving it a bad score. Anyway, that said, kids and parents combined only repped 9% of last night's audience. The Marvels skewed guys at 63%, with men over 25 the biggest turnout at 45%, and women over 25 at 24%. That latter demo gave the best recommendation grades of any demo at 61%. You see, even when they try to make this genre for girls, there are still more dudes who want to go see a Marvel movie than girls. All they've managed to do is drive away all the guys that have good taste, so that now all they're left with are the less discerning diehards who will go and see new comic book films no matter what, and the few screeching harpy woke chicks with purple hair pretending to be comic book fans. But don't look now. Let's bust out those bingo cards, because here come the excuses for why this movie is going to fail. The article says there's a cacophony of reasons why the Marvels isn't playing to better levels, one of them being the recently ended actors' strike, which stifled the Pix promotion at San Diego and New York Comic-Cons. In the last 2 days since the strike ended, the Pix cast is in a whirlwind to show up on late-night TV. Brie Larson set to appear on The Tonight Show tonight and also show up at movie theaters. Iman Vellani and director Nia DaCosta doing so yesterday at Hollywood's El Capitan. I've said this before, and I will repeat myself, Brie Larson does not have the ability, the capability to bring sane people into the movie theaters. She is clearly a screeching harpy who is only attractive to her fellow screeching harpies. I'm sure that if she lights the douche signal into the night sky, then there are some douchebags out there who will flock to this movie in order to prove how stunning and brave she is, but in the end it won't make much of a difference. The people that she appeals to are a small segment of the population. Anyhow, the article continues, social media analytics firm Relish Mix notices that chatter on the Marvels is tracking mixed, leaning toward discontent, while debating issues of superhero fatigue and comparing this title to Marvel titles over the last decade, stating, "We all miss the Avengers." There it is. More excuses for why the movie failed. Who had superhero fatigue on your excuses bingo card? If you did, then mark it down, baby. Oh, and here's another excuse. The writer says, added frustration comes from the need to watch several of the TV series to get up to speed on the movie. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that these people need to stop making excuses and start making apologies. The shills should apologize for defending these nonsense films, and the likes of Disney should apologize for being more concerned with the demographic makeup of their characters than the stories those characters are supposed to tell. Because I'll tell you for free, you Disney D-bags, that is why people like me aren't going to see your stupid movie. Because every time you make a film, you just want to put a chick in it and make her lame and gay.
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
And we've already seen that movie too many times. The gimmick is played out, the jig is up, and this turd will keep swirling down the drain until you change things up. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.